I need you to tell them that we didn't set this up. Like, you truly have never seen this
is
before.
all raw reaction. He wouldn't tell me anything before I got.
Welcome back, Berzerkers. Today we're going to be meeting up with a good friend of mine who is a Tesla hater. Hates Teslas, hates EVs. We're not going to try to change his mind. We're going to let the car do the talking. Mount up, Berzerkers. We're going to the battle. All right, guys, we are here with Jeff Braun, the Unabashed Savage, and he is our resident Tesla and EV hater. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
I am excellent. So I have a question that I was planning on launching this video with for you. You have said several times that EVs are a scam.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about that?
Well, my biggest issue with them is when you see a lot of them, there's been issues with them catching on fire, bursting into flame. The average people, most people don't know that when you buy one of these, it costs the average person between $2,500 and $5,000 to make their house ready to charge these, as these charge on an 80-watt line, I believe. I've heard a lot of reports saying that EVs will actually quadruple the average person's electrical bill. So to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to incur all those extra expenses. Now, I get the thought process behind them, but the practical application, to me, it just doesn't make sense to do.
Understood. And if the information that you've just given us, if I had been given that same information, I bet I would feel the exact same way that you do. You are an educated man. I have known you for years. You think critically through things. He said in theory. In theory, he's educated. What would you say, Jeff, if I told you that some of the information you've been given by the media might not be entirely accurate?
That would be shocking. The media wouldn't have been very forthcoming.
For example, this car plugs directly into a regular wall outlet, just like your cell phone.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that before?
Have not seen that.
Because they don't want you to see it. This will plug into a regular wall outlet. There's a video on the channel about charging it, and I went for 2 months of ownership just plugging it in just like a cell phone, and I was just fine.
Wow.
But what you're saying is out there. That information is out there. It takes $5,000 to set up your house. It's going to quadruple your electric bill. It costs me about $2 a day to charge.
Huh.
And you know that I would not sell you a line of garbage because...
No. If you're telling it to me, okay, I can go with that.
So now, as far as the thing with the cars catching fire, there were some incidents of EVs catching fire.
Mm-hmm.
There was a GM-made vehicle called the Chevy Bolt.
Right.
That's kind of their claim to fame. It's either the fact that the car caught fire or the fact that GM said, we're not going to recall it, just park it far away from your house. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not.
Well, there was also the instance of the container ship that was at sea, and it was full of electric vehicles. Several of them caught on fire and ended up sinking the ship. I think even in Greensboro? I don't know. There was some city where one of the city buses that was electric burst spontaneously, just combusted, burst into flame because of the battery or whatnot. I mean, to me, the whole premise behind the EV is to fight the boogeyman of, well, what I think is non-existent, and that's climate change or the climate crisis, depending on who you're listening to. But to me, it's trying to solve a non-existent problem. With these, I mean, if they're efficient and not as cheap or as cheap as everybody would like you to believe they are to operate, then maybe it's a possibility.
So when you talk about how the EVs are being proposed as a solution for the problem of climate change,
mm-hmm.
Whether the audience believes in the problem of climate change or not, one of the things that I like about Tesla in particular is that there's so many different ways for different people to get involved in the Tesla ecosystem. Some people do get involved in it because they believe in climate change and they want to change that. Some people get into it simply because they want a dependable car.
Right.
They have far fewer moving parts. I mean, the average ICE vehicle has somewhere in the order of 2,500 moving parts, whereas this has somewhere in the order of 20.
Okay.
And a lot of people get into them for the performance aspect, because Teslas in particular are known for their performance, their acceleration, dependability. Like I said before, there are Teslas of this model that are well over 500, 600,000 miles and still going strong.
Okay.
Some of the earlier models, like the Model S, a couple of them have reached 1 million miles and are still going strong. So dependability, and some people get into it for the safety aspect. This car is the #1 safest car rated by NHTSA. Tesla has the top 3 spots. NHTSA says that the probability of injury in an accident is lowest in this car than any other car on Earth.
Huh, I've not seen that. Safer than Volvo.
Safer than Volvo, safer than Saab. This is
Audi?
lowest probability of injury in an accident. This one and second place and third place are also Tesla model vehicles. So I have to admit that while I'm not necessarily an EV guy, I am a Tesla guy. Have you ever driven or ridden in a Tesla?
Never even sat in one.
It's time.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right, first thoughts from you, because I know that you have said before you're shocked that I even fit in one of these.
Well, I mean, you're 6'5", and I'm a good 6'4"-ish. I'm actually, admittedly, pretty surprised about how much room there is in the cockpit area. I mean, neither one of us is very small, but there is a surprising amount of room in here.
I would even I being a Tesla fanboy, even I was surprised when I got in and sat in the car for the first time. I was amazed at how much space there is, and when I did a little research, it's because they don't have an engine in the front, so they're able to expand the cabin forward, as opposed to having to make room for that firewall right here and the engine in front of it, and it minimizes the space that you have on the inside of the cabin. So, what?
It is actually pretty comfortable. I mean, I can fully extend my legs. Like, I could see this being a very comfortable ride.
Which is, that's not the case for guys like us most of the time.
No, not at all.
You glossed over it, but you are 6'4". I am 6'5", according to the Michael Jordan poster at the hospital. And so I know MJ's not as accurate as he used to be, but we are above average. You're the guy that I've talked about you in a different video where I was telling somebody, well, I got a buddy of mine, when he wants to be nice about it, he goes, yeah, you're a large mammal. This is the guy that said that right here. The unabashed savage, Jeff Braun.
So the other thing that I guess I would notice right off the bat is that you don't see a lot of bells and whistles in here. It's very minimalist.
Yep.
And in keeping with that theme, I mean, I guess if King Leonidas was to drive a car, he would probably dig something like this.
You have no idea how happy that makes me. You know, I've been spending years trying to grow the Leonidas beard. So.
Yeah, my wife's not a fan. I too have tried. We're buffed.
You were vetoed, huh?
Indeed.
Vetoed by the lady in charge. It happens.
It does indeed.
But because I didn't drive yet, but it'll go into easy entry mode, and it moves everything back away from you so you can get in and out really easily. You know how you and we hit our hips on the steering wheel every time we get out of the car? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. And so it'll prevent that from happening. At least it has for me pretty well. And then it behaves pretty much like a normal car as far as shifting. You just put your foot on the brake, shift and drive. Now you're in drive. That's about where the similarities end between this and a gasoline vehicle. Okay. So my foot is not on the brake right now. You see the H for hold?
Yep.
It holds it in place until I'm ready to go. And then once I'm ready to go, it is incredibly quiet, which is something that I love about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no noise.
Yep. It is incredibly, incredibly quiet, which makes me very happy. When you have the windows up, which actually we should probably do, which would be, yeah, the wind noise. So the windows are double pane with soundproofing material in between the two panes, and so that cuts down on the noise as well. That's unique to the newer models. You feel the smoothness of the acceleration there?
It actually is very smooth.
Yeah. Well, one thing that people don't bank on because it's an electric vehicle, they're like, oh, it can't possibly have power.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. 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 Okay.
Remember I told you I have friends that are gearheads that get into these cars for the performance? Like I have friends that have ridden in supercars, Ferraris, you know, tricked out Mustangs. They're like, they are impressed by this.
I'm little speechless, which does not happen very often, admittedly.
You are a man of many words, I will say.
Yes, quite.
Yep.
Never timid about offering thoughts, that's for sure.
You know what, Jeff? I think the only thing that remains here is for you to experience this thing. How about you hop in the driver's seat?
All right, I can do that.
You see how I unbuckle the seatbelt? It goes into easy entry mode. The seat goes back. The steering wheel goes forward. So to get out,
Oh, okay.
I didn't explain.
Try that again.
Yeah, hit that button as opposed to the emergency latch that's down there. The emergency latch is in case, as Tesla haters say, what if it's a brick and it has no juice? You're stuck in the car. Well, it's got an emergency functional mechanical latch.
For the old school amongst us.
Yes, the old school amongst us. The car doesn't like it when you use the emergency latch to get out normally. The reason being that there's the window is all the way up, and so when you open it, it bumps the window a little bit.
Oh, okay.
When you push the button and the window is up, what it'll do is it lowers the window just a tiny bit and pops the door open for you.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's smoother than a gas engine on rollout.
Yep.
And again, unbelievably quiet.
Yeah. I mean, even with the windows down, you can hear no noise from the motor, the engine, or anything.
I mean, it's, wow, that's 23.
Woo!
God, that is fast.
Isn't it?
Wow. I mean, that's unbelievable. You step in it and goodbye, see you later. You're out.
Yep.
Wow. And still no noise.
No noise. None.
Zero. Huh. So I guess, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, but for around town stuff, then okay, maybe one of these makes sense. But driving it on the highway,
okay. So let's take it out on the highway.
I don't know.
Let's go. Take it on the highway.
Well, my point was, like, let's say, because we obviously play travel soccer with my daughter, so we, travel a lot.
Uh-huh.
So let's say we've got games like down in South Carolina.
Okay.
So it's 200 miles down there. Well, that's great, but I don't have any place to charge the car while we're playing soccer.
Okay.
So I can get down and most of the way back, but I have to push this thing on the way home.
That's right. You have to push it so that the regen braking will take care of the rest for you. Watch this Toyota. They're doing what they want.
Well, he's blocking traffic.
It was kind of him.
That was nice of him.
And I mean, I'm not saying feel free to open it up on the on-ramp. That you're in care and control of the vehicle. But
Let's see if we got a hole here. And we're off.
Nice and smooth.
I mean, it's just so incredibly quiet.
Oh, and you just wanted to get out in front of him. All right, so as far as driving on the highway, take your right hand and put it on that stalk right there, there, and push down twice. Now let go twice. Now let go of the steering wheel. So it'll take you to wherever you need to go.
So it'll maintain lane integrity.
This is the stock autopilot. It'll maintain lane. It does auto steering and it does adaptive cruise control. Navigation is on you. Your brain has to know when to change lanes or to take the off ramp.
Battery life.
It'll give you your battery life when you arrive. Navigate to Orlando, Florida. That example doesn't work because, like you said, you can get there without having to charge. There's Orlando. All right.
Drive southeast on US 421
So it tells you,
for 5.6
you see these
miles.
stopping points? It tells you where to stop at a Tesla charger location and for how long to stop there. So you'll stop at this supercharger and you will charge for 20 minutes. Oh, sorry. No, you're good. You will have to get in that lane on your own, though. The car won't do it for you. So to do that, all you do is you can either touch the brake or just steer and take it out of autopilot. So steer it into the next lane over. There you go. Now you're in control again.
All right, that's pretty cool.
So we'll stop in Florence, South Carolina, and we'll charge for 20 minutes. And then we'll stop in Hardeeville, South Carolina, and we'll charge for 20 minutes. Stop in Jacksonville, Florida, and charge for 20 minutes. And then you get to Orlando with 18% battery left. And on the way back, it plans that trip for you again, exactly where to stop and for how long.
Okay, so it would also be decidedly less inconvenient than I otherwise would have thought.
Yeah.
I mean, because all right, so let's say you make these 20-minute stops. You could use those stops to eat, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs.
Which you would have to do anyway.
Which you'd have to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the Tesla ecosystem is insane. I mean, there's superchargers everywhere, all over the world. They just installed one in Alaska, as I understand it. I mean,
Huh.
it is very, very different in reality and actual practice than what the media would have you believe. So, in the intro to the video, before you got there, we filmed an intro to the video where I said, I am not going to try to change his mind. I'm going to let the car do the talking. Thus far, has the car been able to dispel at least one of the rumors that you've heard about them?
I can say I was wrong about several things. And, yeah, I mean, I did not know a vast majority of what you told me, and I knew less than what I thought I did, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, again, I mean, I do kind of dig the minimalist interior. I mean, I'm assuming these are charging pads for your phone.
You bet.
Okay,
You know
it.
Charging pad for your phone?
It's kind of cool that there's everything you need and nothing you don't. I mean, literally everything is right here on this screen. You don't need, there's no speedometer in here. There's no, I mean, there's nothing. The only speedometer is on this gigantic iPad, which the only thing Elon needs to do now is pipe a TV in there so you can watch football while if you're traveling on Saturdays. But
yeah, he's already done that. Actually, you got Hulu and Netflix and YouTube and all kinds
of
all available to you. Yeah,
that's awesome. Of course,
yeah. And you got the 5G, 4G LTE connectivity. And so, as long as you're in park, you can watch Netflix, you can watch YouTube. The more expensive models has a screen like that in the back, and the back passengers can watch streaming movies while you're even driving.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But, I mean, the car is, one, a lot more comfortable than I thought it would be. Two, it's a lot more roomy than I thought it would be. It's literally everything you need and nothing you don't. I mean, me personally, would I want something like this for interstate travel? I don't know. I guess would need a greater sample size of data to make that determination. But I mean, for in town and stuff, it's got a lot of cool features. I will say that. And I did not know about the whole charging thing and all that. It doesn't necessarily really cost that much more money to own and operate one. Further, you'd be saving a lot on gas.
Yes.
You're paying $60 a month for charging costs, vice $60 once or twice a week, depending on how much you drive to fill your tank.
They actually put a number to it, so you can go into the app and you can go to your charge stats, and based on your location and the average gasoline cost at the location, they calculate the miles driven, and they calculate it versus the charging cost. Because again, I connected it to my Duke Energy, so it knows how much I'm paying for the electricity. So far this month, I've saved $247 in gas.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can see that in real time. It calculates it for you. Every morning you can wake up and take a look and see exactly to the penny how much you paid for charging last night.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just from a driving standpoint, I mean, I would put this up against anything I've ever driven.
I need you to tell them that we didn't set this up. Like, you truly have never seen this
is
before.
all raw reaction. He wouldn't tell me anything before I got in the car.
See?
Because he didn't want to taint my opinions.
It's true. I didn't.
Which I might even have to post something about this later and say, yeah, so I was wrong.
It was like a retraction from Jeff himself?
Wrong. But,
That's
I
good.
mean, it's cool. I mean, yeah, I'm a truck SUV guy, so if they can translate all of this into a truck or SUV, then perhaps. But no, I mean it's
So I mean, and you don't have to answer this, but would you mind talking about where some of those preconceived negative ideas about EVs came from?
I guess, well, if I'm being honest, probably my own ignorance. I had listened to a lot of what was said in the media. I'd heard all the negative talk about Elon Musk, and it's my own. I still don't have an overly positive perception of him, but it's not necessarily negative either. But I guess I let my own biases cloud my judgment as far as what kind of guy he is and what kind of product he's putting out. And I mean, suffice to say, I was wrong about a lot of it.
That is very impressive. The audience doesn't know, but I know how impressive it is to hear you say I was wrong. That is something. I'm glad we got you in here to drive it. I really am.
I am too. I'm just sad you got my admission of being wrong on tape.
It'll be a secret between you and me and my thousands of subscribers.
Perfect. Look forward to it. I don't know if I'm a convert, but I definitely have a much more informed opinion now about the car and its capabilities. I still can't believe the acceleration in this thing. It is unreal,
Isn't it?
I mean, it's wow.
Yeah, it's my brother-in-law. He's a big car guy, a mechanic, gearhead, and even he was impressed by the acceleration. And he said, I mean, you're just above supercar territory. You get that acceleration boost, and you're nudging supercars there.
Yeah, I mean it's unreal how fast this is.
And then when you take off your seatbelt, it should go into easy entry. There we go. Now it moves everything out of the way, and then you'll push the button. Yep, and it pops the door, and you're good to go.
So there's nothing to shut off.
Nope. Nope. There you go. Yeah, there's nothing to shut off. What it is it senses my phone. So it comes with a key card, and you pair it to your phone, and when you walk away, it automatically locks. In fact, I got spoiled by the fact that it automatically rolls up the windows for you too. People will say, "Do you need to roll up the windows?" I'm like, "Nah, it'll do it. Nah, I got a guy for that." It's same thing when I leave my Suburban. It's running and the windows are down. It's not in park. It's a mess.
I mean, it's wow.
So, final thoughts for the crowd there.
So, wow. I think I was off base. That's a better way of saying it.
As opposed to saying wrong.
As opposed to saying wrong on a lot of things. Overall, I mean, is it for me? I don't know, but I definitely had a lot of incorrect misconceptions about the car itself, what it'll do. I was completely wrong about the power in the car. There's plenty. So yeah, it was overall. I'd give it a thumbs up for sure.
A thumbs up from Jeff Braun, the unabashed savage himself. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next battle.